Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has dismissed as false reports that it is probing the immediate past governor of the state, Mr. Odom Emmanuel. This is coming after there were reports on Monday, August 11, 2025, that Emmanuel is facing a probe by the House of Assembly, while the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Kufri Abasi Edidem, in a statement on Tuesday described the reports as speculative, false, and not based on any official position or resolution of the House. Edidem, while stating that at no point did the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly constitute a committee to probe the former governor, adding that the only committee constituted at Thursday's plenary was a committee meant to solve the non-payment of factory workers at the coconut refinery. Cross River State Head of Service Dr. Innocent Eteng has confirmed implementation of the national minimum wage by the administration of Governor Basi Otu. The head of service disclosed this to newsmen on Tuesday in Calabar, adding that the state government implemented the national minimum wage according to agreements with organized labor. Speaking shortly after unveiling the program of activity to mark the ongoing Civil Public Service Day celebration, Eteng said the Otu administration graciously implemented the minimum as written in the agreement and has graciously approved the 70,000 naira minimum wage, which we have implemented as written in the agreement. Eteng also said the national minimum wage was implemented by the Otu's administration following an agreement reached with organized labor. Vice President Kashim Shettima has commissioned a state-of-the-art library in Calabar, recently refurbished by the Cross River State Governor, Basi Otu. He also commissioned the two newly acquired aircrafts by the government of Cross River State in the Margaret Ekpo International Airport, Calabar, which increases the fleet of Kali Air Airline to 4. The Vice President, who represented President Bola Tinubu, commended the state government for the feat and expressed gratitude to the President for permitting Shettima to represent him at the auspicious occasion. Otu said he is consolidating on the efforts and achievements of his predecessors, Donald Duke, Leo Imoke, and Ben Ayade, who laid good foundation in 3 different important areas, and the foundations have helped him to consolidate. Operatives of the Lagos State Police Command have arrested 6 suspected kidnappers in connection with the abduction of 2 victims in separate incidents. The Commissioner of Police, CP Olohundare Jimo, who disclosed this, said the arrest followed swift investigative efforts by the command's anti-kidnapping unit. According to the police chief, the first case was reported on July 13 by one Ayogo Kelvin of Yaba, who alleged that unidentified persons abducted his 16-year-old son. The suspect reportedly demanded and received 2 million naira along with a headset, a school bag, and an iPhone 12. Acting on the report, detectives tracked down and apprehended the suspect, aged between 22 and kept running smoothly, adding that the governor was always working round the clock to ensure that the state continued to move forward. In appreciation, the Permanent Secretary of the State Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry, Mrs. Foluke Tunde Daramola, expressed delight over the governor's kind gesture, adding that the gesture showed the governor as a good father to the state who wanted everything to be moving smoothly. Ogun State Governor Adapo Abiodun has sworn in 3 new judges into the Ogun State judiciary and charged them to be symbols of justice, shields against oppression, and proof that right will always prevail over. The newly appointed judges are Justices Julius Ojikutu, who was the former Chief Registrar of the Ogun State High Court, Abeokuta; Justice Adejimoke Adewale, former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development; and Justice Oluyemisi Adebo, former Secretary of the Ogun State Judicial Service Commission. Abiodun urged them to make fairness, integrity, and justice their guiding light, stressing that the country's democracy endures because judges of conscience stand firm in defending the ethos of democratic institutions without fear or favor, and further advised them to let the fear of God, their conscience, and the Constitution of Nigeria to guide their judgments, stressing that Nigeria needs judges who are not only learned in the law but also upright in character and resolute in conduct. He also charged the judges to remain fair, firm and courageous in the face of pressure and reminded them to always place the interests of justice and the people above personal interest by ensuring that justice is felt in tangible ways by every citizen, regardless of tribe, religion, political affiliation, or economic status. Governor Abiodun advised them to uphold the sacred principles of the separation of powers, as well as ensuring that the executive, legislature, and the judiciary operate independently yet harmoniously, all within the constitutional framework for the good of the people. Abiodun reaffirmed his administration's commitment to the judiciary, describing his government as responsible and responsive, and acknowledging the role of the courts in nurturing democracy. Ogun State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 2 men for the unlawful possession of 3 human skulls in the Ijebu axis of the state. The command's public relations officer, Omolola Odutola, who disclosed this in a statement issued in Abeokuta, the state capital, said the arrest followed a routine stop and search operation conducted by operatives of 71 PMF Awa Ijebu along Ijebu-Ode-Ibadan Expressway near Refugees Camp Junction, Ore, Ijebu, adding that during the exercise, officers intercepted one Kader Owolabi male who was riding motorcycle and, after searching his luggage, led to the shocking discovery of 3 human skulls. She said a follow-up investigation resulted in the arrest of another suspect, Jamiu Isa, at a location behind the Ijebu-Ode local government secretariat. The Commissioner of Police, Larry Ogunlowo, has ordered the State Criminal Investigation Department, CID, to take over the matter for thorough investigation. Residents of Yelwata in Guma local government area of Benue State have protested the killing of 3 people in the community. Displaying the dead bodies, the protesting residents blocked the federal highway linking Makurdi, Lafia, Abuja, thereby stalling movement of vehicles for several hours. While in the latest attack on the community, 3 people were killed while 3 others were injured. A youth leader, Archie Matthias, alleged that the attackers might have slept in the community and the attackers unleashed terror on the community around 7 a.m. on Monday. When contacted, the Special Advisor to Governor Hyacinth Aliyu on Security and Internal Affairs, Joseph Ha, confirmed the report, adding that the attack happened in a community close to Yelwata. The killing drew condemnation from within and outside the country, with Pope Leo the 11th, of Catholic Church President Bola Tinubu and other prominent Nigerians condemning the attack. Federal Capital Territory Administration has commissioned a Nigerian firm to attract an estimated 11 trillion naira in annual revenue through tourism in the nation's capital. Imo Ebong, the chairman of Gruri December, disclosed this in Abuja that the firm is working with federal government agencies led by the Minister of FCRA is rich in tourism resources, but the problem is upscaling the country's potentials and converting them into wealth for citizens. He said tourism would reduce Nigeria's unemployment rate, which stood at 31.9%, according to the National Bureau of Statistics Quarter of Labor Force Survey 2024. Similarly, Kalu Kenneth, Program Coordinator for Emerging Abuja, urged Nigerians to believe in the potentials of the country, while former Nigerian Super Eagles head coach and player Samson Siasia said he is supporting the initiative because it has potential for youth development. Authorities of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has launched a major clearance operation against bandits in shanties and miscreants arrested suspects dealing on illicit drugs in Apo Gazapi area of Abuja. According to the Director of FCT Development Control, TPL Mokhtar Galadima, the operation is part of a broader effort to rid the city of criminal elements and miscreants as directed by the FCT Security Council.
1, notices were made as far back as October 2023, ditto 2024, and then February 2025. And the mechanics operating around that area, we invited them for a meeting in our office. We met with them, we told them our plan to sanitize the area and to clear the area of all miscreants. Even the scavengers around that area, I personally visited their den and I told them that we are coming to remove this area. So that day, we moved, we operated. When we came back to mop up, we saw that the people were still there. And in fact, they were even hibernating within that shanties within the park. And it is also important to make the public know that the park was not destroyed. The park, which was allocated to Panorama, the park is in existence. Because when you go there till today, the playground is there, the gym is there, even the lounge is there. So all other facilities are there in the park. It is only those makeshift structures, which are not different from the scavengers' shanties, that were removed.
The cleared area, known as Apple Cadastral Zone E27 in Apple, was originally designated for residential purposes with the allocations made for development, while the allottees failed to develop their plots within the stipulated time, adding that the FCTA has dislodged shanties and miscreants from the Apple Gozape area, as well as taking over the plots and reclaiming the land.
We've been having criminal elements hibernating in places and also attacking unsuspecting residents of the FCT. But since we started this operation 1 week ago up till now, from the crime statistics record we followed up from the FCT Police Command, we noticed that the crime rate within the areas in which we have gone to remove are reduced drastically. And one thing we should also know is that we are not just focusing to limit it to where we are clearing. There's also other operations going on so that anywhere they are relocating to, they are also being removed from such places. And that's why you still have the Operation Sweep Abuja also taking place simultaneously with the city sanitation operation. From the Operation Sweep angle, there's a lot of criminal elements that have been apprehended and some are being profiled and prosecuted by the Nigerian police. And from our own angle, from this city sanitation angle, it's mainly to clear shanties and the rest. And as we've been doing this, just like last week, where we recover some machetes that these bad boys used to attack residents, So there's been a lot of achievements, and I believe in due time the Commissioner of Police FCT will also brief the press on these achievements.
Also speaking, the Director of Security, Adamu Gwari, represented by Dr. Peter Olumuji, said the increase in crime rates since the operation began last week, adding that the FCTA's Operation Sweep Abuja is also tracking and removing displaced criminals from other locations.
The UTC is one of the areas that has been listed as a hot spot or dark spot. And then today, while coming here, we noticed a kind of refuse dump that has been left untended. So as part of city sanitation, we have to clear that side first before coming to the main area where the hoodlums are. And on getting here, we have seen what is really disturbing and alarming. So something serious has to be done. That's why we're here now. Master plan of Abuja, and particularly the land use plan for Phase 1 and Garki district, this is part of the transitway corridor. It's a system that runs across the city, from here up to behind the AMAC and Ministry of Defense, going towards, which has not been developed yet. It's a proposal, but it's being maintained and protected against any instance of land grabbing. Yes. Going forward, we tend to sustain, because we have been directed by the FCT Security Council, after clearing, we should take possession by way of fencing and putting those uses that are commensurate and friendly to city development.
16 inmates escaped from the medium security custodial center in Kefi, Nasarawa State, in the early hours of Tuesday after breaching the facility's security. A statement issued by the spokesperson for the Nigerian Correctional Service, Umar Abubakar, the inmates reportedly overpowered personnel on duty during the breakout, adding that 5 officers were injured in the incident, with 2 currently in serious condition and receiving treatment at the government hospital, while 7 of the escaped inmates have since been recaptured, and efforts are ongoing to locate and apprehend the remaining 9. The statement also confirmed that the Controller General of Corrections, Sylvester Nwakuche, visited the facility following the incident and has ordered a comprehensive investigation into the circumstances surrounding the escape, adding that any staff found complicit in the escape would face disciplinary action. He also directed a coordinated manhunt for the fleeing inmates, working closely with other security agencies, and urged members of the public to remain calm and vigilant, and to report any suspicious activity or sightings of the escapees to the nearest security post. Civil servants in Taraba State have called on Governor Agbo Kefas to sack the Commissioner for Finance, Mrs. Sarah Enoch Adi, over the ongoing strike by the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) that has paralyzed government and economic activities across the state. Most of the workers who spoke with our reporter during a monitoring visit on Tuesday said the commissioner should be accountable for the crisis which has led to the closure of ministries, departments and agencies, while alleging lukewarm attitude of the commissioner towards the recent biometric exercise which necessitated the ongoing industrial action embarked on by the workers. It also set the gates of the Taraba State Secretariat in Jalingo, along with other government officials who attempted to resume work. The industrial action, declared after a joint decision by the NLC and TUC, has since spread to various sectors. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Taraba State University, TSU chapter, had also announced its participation further compounding the shutdown of public services, while the workers vow to continue pressing their demands until government addresses the issues raised and takes decisive action on the commissioner's role in the impasse. Katsina State government says preparations are almost concluded to join the global celebration of the World Hausa Day, which is marked on August 26 every year. The Executive Secretary of the State's History and Culture Bureau, Dr. Kabir Ali Mansau Nawa, who declared this at a press briefing in Katsina on Tuesday, said the event was set to draw participants from across the globe to honor the Hausa people's history, culture and heritage, and also described the forthcoming celebration as the first time the event would receive full state backing, with Governor Diko rather personally committed to ensuring its success. He said that they recognized the vast cultural footprint of the Hausa people, whose historical empires span multiple countries, adding that the celebration would showcase Hausa heritage through music, dance, traditional attire, and a rich culinary experience that reflects the hospitality for which the people were known. Malam Abdul Baki Jari, a member of the organizing committee, provided background on the event's origins, recalling that the day was first marked in 2015 to celebrate the Hausa language and culture, adding that Hausa is now the 11th most spoken language globally, with projections showing it could rise further by 2050. He revealed that dignitaries from around the world would attend, with participation from Hausa communities in countries such as the UK, USA, Saudi Arabia, Ghana, and for the first time, the Netherlands. Bauchi State Police Command has launched an investigation into the sudden death of a serving member of the National Youth Service Corps in the Dambam local government area of the state. This is coming after the incident happened in the early hours of Sunday when it was in an apartment provided for Corps members in the community by his colleagues and the Corps liaison officer. The state police spokesperson Ahmed Waziri, who confirmed the incident, said the Commissioner of Police had ordered a preliminary investigation and the command received a complaint of sudden and natural death on August 10, 2022, where a medical doctor certified him dead, as enshrined in the international best practices and the Federal Medical Center Azare Mortuary, while the Commissioner of Police had directed a thorough preliminary investigation into the case, which is still ongoing. A similar mysterious death was recorded in 2023 in Adamawa State when another Corps member, identified as Samuel, slumped and died while watching a football match between Nigeria's Super Eagles and South Africa's Bafana Bafana. National Youth Service Corps members have been urged to lead the way in fighting terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, cultism, political thuggery, and all sorts of insecurity across the country. The call was made by the Northeast Zonal Coordinator, National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, Northeast Zonal Center, Major General Abubakar Adamu, retired at the NYSC orientation camp in Bauchi on Tuesday, adding that with the involvement of the youth, especially core members, in fighting the proliferation of small arms and control of small arms and light. Represented by Assistant Director, Strategic Communication and Information, Northeast Zonal Center, Adamu Saleh, the Zonal Coordinator, charged the National Youth Service Corps member kidnapping, courtesim, political thuggery, and all sorts of insecurity in the country. He called on the Bauchi State Coordinator of NYSC in Bauchi's CDS group in the state. Suspected bandits struck Manona village in Wono local government area of Sokoto State in the early hours of Sunday, killing one worshipper and abducting several others during morning prayers. The attackers, reportedly armed with sophisticated weapons, stormed the mosque, fled in fear as gunshots echoed across the village. Confirming the incident, the Sokoto State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Isa Achide, condemned the assault as barbaric and an act of cowardice, stressing that targeting innocent worshippers in a sacred place is a direct attack on humanity and faith, and perpetrators must be brought to justice, adding that people must remain united to defeat the menace. Achide assured residents that the state government, in collaboration with security agencies, is working to curb banditry across Sokoto, while expressing sympathy to the bereaved families and wishing the injured a swift recovery. The incident adds to a string of violent attacks in Sokoto East, where communities have repeatedly suffered raids, kidnappings and killings in recent months. And in the meanwhile, tension remains high in Manona and surrounding villages as security patrols intensify and local vigilante groups join forces with law enforcement guards to further attacks. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has called on former political thugs to give up violence, assuring them of government support to rebuild their lives and return to society. The governor, represented by the Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Waya, spoke during a one-day meeting with youth cluster leaders under the Safe Corridor project, adding that the days of carrying weapons for political thuggery or other criminal activities were over. He also said some beneficiaries previously profiled had passed away, prompting the government to start a fresh verification exercise to update its record social vices, not politics. The commandant of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in the state and other partners working to combat drug abuse and youth violence. Jigawa State Governor Malam Umar Namadi says the opposition parties in the state are losing relevance in support due to massive developmental projects and people's-oriented policies of the APC-led administration in the state and the country in general. Governor Namadi, who disclosed this while speaking at the APC's campaign flag-off for the Gaki-Babura Federal Constituency by-election scheduled to take place on 16th August 2025, adding that the present administration has crippled and silenced the opposition parties in the state through laudable development projects. Governor Namadi, however, urged all eligible voters in Babura and Gaki to turn out in large numbers on Saturday and vote for the APC to build a stronger and more prosperous Jigawa state. While the APC flag bearer in the upcoming by-election, Honorable Rabiu Mokhtar, expressed gratitude to Almighty Allah, the governor and all stakeholders for the transparent and inclusive process that led to his emergence as the party's candidate. You're watching the Global News and Atlantic Television Network, and we will be back after this break. Please stay with us.
All the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
You human
trafficker.
Honorable
Worry, you understand.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their mind.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has approved the reconstitution of the Governing Council and Board of Trustees of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project. A statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said the Minister of Environment will serve as chairman of the council. Other members include Lonye Barituka Victor, representing environmental NGOs, Bright Onyebuchi Jacob and Henry Obiaburi, representing Niger Delta communities, Professor Barinedo Michael Wibere and Barikunle Omo Tehinse, representing the Dr. Abraham Olungwe, who was appointed, and Engineer Maiba Power Ekobari, Joseph Ike Deso, and Beauty Ware Jowe, who serve as alternate members for the Niger Delta. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Chad Tajuddin Abbas, has lamented the tanker explosion which occurred on the Zaria-Kano Highway, describing the accident as unfortunate. The incident happened in Dan Magaji area of the highway in Zaria when a liquefied natural gas tanker on its way to Kano rammed into the rear of an empty fuel tanker due to a tire blowout, which led to an explosion. A statement issued on Tuesday by the Special Advisor to the Speaker on Media and Publicity, Musa Krishi, said the chairman of Zaria Local Government, Jamil Mohammed, confirmed that there were no fatalities where they received immediate medical attention. Mohammed also dismissed reports suggesting that 2 commercial golf vehicles were involved in the accident and urged motorists to always adhere to safety standards and avoid violating the rules guiding driving. Federal government has begun the process of appointing 5 new permanent secretaries, 3 of whom will head newly established ministries, and according to a memo from the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, the positions are open to qualified directors in the Federal Civil Service. The memo, signed by the head of the Civil Service, Didi Walsin-Jack, said the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation is set to commence the process grade level 17 in the mainstream Federal Civil Service and have been verified on the IPPIS portal as confirmed staff members of the federal government and must have served for at least 2 years as directors. Applicants must not be due for retirement on or before December 31st, 2026 and must provide proof of indigenship of the state where the vacancy exists, while for female civil servants, indigenship cannot be by marriage. Candidates must also have no pending disciplinary action against them, and the circular also directed serving permanent secretaries to confirm in their forwarding letters that all applicants are free from disciplinary cases. It also urged them to submit evidence demonstrating compliance with the eligibility criteria, as well as all list and personal file of all eligible directors, 2 copies of each applicant's curriculum vitae, and 2 hard copies, as well as a soft copy of a brief on each eligible director using the attached format for a national identity number enrollment portal. A statement by its spokesperson, Kayode Adegoke, said the upgrade would help provide a seamless, robust, more secure, efficient, and effective NIN service delivery to Nigerians in the diaspora and will also ensure effective service delivery and smooth management of the National Identification Number (NIN) enrollment in the diaspora. The National Identity Management Commission said the upgrade process, which was successfully completed, will, amongst many other benefits, provide a seamless, robust, more secure, efficient, and effective NIN service delivery to Nigerians in the diaspora. Consequently, NIMC Diaspora Front-End Partners (FEPs) have been on board on the upgraded system with intensive training to equip the FEPs with the prerequisite knowledge on the application and effective management of licenses on the upgraded platform within the next 48 hours. Diaspora applicants can access enrollments the platform upgrade process might have cost and has set up a dedicated service team to resolve all issues related to diaspora enrollment, and while diaspora applicants experiencing issues with NIN enrollment should please reach the Commission. Inspector General of Police Kayode has approved the upgrade of the legal section of the Nigeria Police Force to the Directorate of Legal Services, adding that the move is aimed at creating a clear institutional identity for the force's legal operations, strengthening cohesion and securing recognition across both domestic and international jurisdictions. A statement on Tuesday by the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi said the new directorate would be the apex legal arm of the force, responsible for the coordination and delivery of legal services, adding that the responsibilities will include legal training, comprehensive policy review, and structured engagements with prosecutorial bodies, as well as the judiciary and other relevant stakeholders in the justice sector. He said in line with the ongoing strategic reforms aimed at strengthening institutional capacity and enhancing operational efficiency across all departments of the Nigeria Police Force, the Inspector General of Police has approved the elevation of the legal section of the force to the Directorate of Legal Services, adding that the Directorate will serve as the apex legal arm of the Nigeria Police Force, responsible for the coordination and delivery of legal services, including legal training, comprehensive policy review, and structured engagement with prosecutorial bodies, as well as the judiciary and other relevant stakeholders in the justice sector. Adejobi also said the move is designed to create a clear institutional identity for the force's legal operations, strengthening cohesion and secure recognition across both domestic and international jurisdictions, and further declare the appointment of Assistant Inspector General Ohiozoba O. Ehiede as the pioneer director of the Directorate of Legal Services. Federal government has unveiled plans to strengthen interagency coordination and deepen community engagement as key pillars of the revised National Counter-Terrorism Strategy 2025. Speaking in Abuja on Tuesday at the final validation exercise for the draft strategy, National Coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Adamu Laka, said the updated framework was designed to improve collaboration among security agencies and foster public participation in preventing and responding to terrorism. He said the review process, which began in February 2025, went through multiple stages of consultation, including workshops, committee reviews, and stakeholder engagements involving ministries, departments and agencies, civil society groups, academia, and international partners, adding that the valid, realistic, and implementable while reflecting national priorities and meeting international standards. Madawaki said the review incorporates good practices, gender inclusivity, and human rights with input from UN Women and other stakeholders to ensure the strategy is inclusive, threat responsive, and aligned with international best practices, adding that all ministries, departments, and agencies must understand their roles in implementing the strategy once it is launched, and grassroots involvement is critical to ensuring that the state and local governments are actively engaged in the review process, especially in the final phases. Madawaki also called for continued international support, saying terrorism is a global phenomenon that requires international cooperation and support. Nigerian Bar Association has condemned IBOM Air and the airline operators of Nigeria for their handling of the incident that involved Miss Comfort Emansin on an IBOM Air flight on August 10, 2025. A statement signed by its president, Mazi Afam Osigwe, and General Secretary, Dr. Mobolaji Ojibara, the NBA described the airline's actions, including a lifetime And now to our business news. Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria has accused the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Ojulari, of neglecting the revival of Port Harcourt Refinery. This is coming after two prominent northern groups dragged the Chief Financial Officer of NNPC, Mr. Dapo Shegu, before the Federal High Court in Kaduna.